Okay, good evening, Tri-Valley. It is 7:35 p.m. Will you please join me for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for joining us this evening. We're going to begin with policy number 1230. I would like to read portions of Board Policy 1230, Public Participation at Board Meetings. The Board of Education encourages public participation on school-related matters at board meetings, as outlined in this policy. To allow for public participation, a period not to exceed 30 minutes shall be set aside during the first part of each board meeting for public comment, with priority given to comments on items on the meeting's agenda. A second 30-minute time period will be set aside at the end of each board meeting for public comment on matters pertaining to the district, but not on the agenda. These periods may be extended by a majority vote of the board. Persons wishing to address the board shall advise the board president prior to the scheduled start time of the meeting. The request shall be made in writing on a form provided by the district and shall include the name of the speaker, the address, telephone number, name of the organization represented, and a brief description of the topic to be addressed. Presentation should be as brief as possible. No speaker will be permitted to speak for longer than 5 minutes. The board will not permit in-public session discussion involving individual district personnel or students. All speakers are to conduct themselves in a civil manner. Persons making presentations at a board meeting will address remarks to the president and may direct questions or comments to the board members or other district officials only upon the approval of the president. If you would like to address the board tonight, the forms are on the table by the door. Please complete them and give them to the district clerk, Ms. Pena. Also, as a reminder, guests to board meetings should please wear masks and observe all proper social distancing protocols. All right, moving along, there are no items of correspondence. Public comment session for items that are on tonight's agenda. I don't think we have anybody on the agenda for items on the agenda that are signed in to speak. So we have presentations and guests. No presentations or guests this evening, so we go right to the superintendent's report.
Thank you. We'll see if the mic is working tonight, if I remember to speak into it. A couple of things. First of all, I want to apologize to everyone for the very late call this morning about the 2-hour delay. I got the call from Phil Vallone that they were concerned about the roads at 6:15, I think. And that's about an hour and a half later than we usually do snow effects. So hopefully it won't happen again, but we made it through the day okay, and thank you all for that. Second thing I wanted to mention was a Single Bite, who last year provided food for something in the order of 20 or 25 families in the district once a week, and then when I hiatus for the summer, it started again. Sandra Lee is our point person for that, and yesterday was the first day they delivered food to the school, and Sandra and someone else delivered the food to families. So we're really glad to get that going again, and addressing some of the needs that families have in the community for food insecurity. The third thing I wanted to mention was just COVID and attendance and what's going on. So we've had an uptick in attendance, or a downtick, I suppose, is really the right thing to say, I suppose, in attendance. And we're monitoring student attendance daily and teacher attendance daily. The TVTA generously worked with me to come up with a plan where teachers are willing to give up one of their two daily prep periods in order to cover other teachers' classes or cover their own class. If it's a special area teacher that's out. And so that's enabled us to manage, we think will enable us to manage, stay open when other places are closing because of really staffing issues. It's compounded a little bit because it's the holiday season, and typically attendance, both students and teachers, is not so great, not as good after Thanksgiving through Christmas as it usually is other times of the year. So we're battling a couple of issues, and so we're really taking it one day at a time. We're doing all calls every day, just before 6 o'clock to let people know what's happening the next day. It's a terrible way to do business, but I think it's the best we can do right now. And just for your information, this is the attendance for the last couple of weeks. They're in piles of 2, so take 2 pages. And the trend line is down. Oh, here's one more. Yeah. Carrie, there's one more ahead. So. Should be a secondary school one and an elementary school one. So you can see the trend line. All those empty spaces are Veterans Day and Thanksgiving break. So it's not as complete a picture as we'd like, but you can certainly see what the trend is, and hopefully it will stabilize or reverse. I've been talking with Dr. Ellswig about the advisability of closing or not, and the one thing he said that we need to keep in mind is if we close, we really need to close for 7 to 10 days to make it worthwhile. So doing 1 day at a time just doesn't do anything unless we literally just can't man the schools. So we will see what happens with all of that.
Question on these numbers. If a student is on quarantine and they're receiving remote instruction, are they are included in the attendance count? These are students, the numbers you're showing are students who are not here at all. They did not sign in, they were not here on campus, or did not participate virtually?
It would include any students who are participating virtually.
Okay.
Yeah.
As being present if they're signing in with their classes.
So these numbers are significant absences. You have a lot.
Yeah.
There is one thing though I could add about the elementary school, because they are getting credit for, if they participate in tutoring after school.
Right.
But that might not be updated in there until like parking period is over.
Okay.
So there may be something in it that's not consistent.
Their numbers are better than the secondary, so they can only go up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if you look at the elementary attendance, going back on November 8th, 10th, 12th in there, that's more typical of what our attendance is in the 93 to 95% range. So when we're down to 83%, that's a big drop. It's a lot of kids. Anyway, the last thing I want to do, just let the board know is the construction update. Because this is the part I really like doing so much. So over Thanksgiving weekend and over the last couple of weeks, there's actually been a fair amount of work done. The elementary school office is almost done. All the casework in the science rooms is done, and elementary office and nurse's office are done. The vestibule is in place and mostly has glass in it, and they were doing insulation so they could put heat and light in there. And work that should be done by tomorrow is the high school science room sinks should be in. The univents needs end panels really will be in and taken care of. The high school, the vestibule lights should be in. Same thing with the elementary school main office, the lights and the dampers that aren't done yet. And the elementary school kitchen is up and running actually.
Oh, great.
But they still need lights and power for some lights and power for the doors. And then over Christmas break, there's a pretty aggressive schedule to finish doing all the painting, to do the upstairs gym and the sound baffling, take care of that. The lights in the elementary school cafeteria, the base molding, the cove moldings, and all the spaces. And in the high school vestibule, the wall between the security office and the sitting area and the spandrel glass, getting that all installed. So we will see what happens.
Okay.
And that's it, unless anyone has any questions.
I would just say thank you to administration and to the teachers for the outside the box thinking, the MOA to keep us open.
Right. And so the community understands, without this MOA and without the support of our teachers, we would be on virtual instruction today and tomorrow. So this was really a blessing for everybody to step up and see the necessity for our kids to be here. So thank you, April, and all our staff. We appreciate it greatly. All right, anything else? All right, moving forward, any items the board wishes pulled from tonight's agenda? Okay, if not, I need a motion and a second. Motion Pat, second Rose. Any discussion? Please proceed to vote. Unanimous? All right, moving forward, the policy committee has been extremely busy. We have several first readings. I'm going to go through them one by one. There's no need to make any kind of motion. We just need to go through the first reading. So policy number 010, gender neutral single occupant bathrooms, first reading. Then we have policy number 4000, student learning standards and instructional guidelines, first reading. Policy number 5420, student health services, first reading. Policy 5420R, student health services regulation, first reading. Policy number 8110, school building safety, first reading. Policy number 8112, health and safety committee, first reading. Policy number 8220, buildings and grounds maintenance and inspection, first reading. Policy number 8508, charging school meals and prohibition against shaming, first reading. Policy number 8635E, Parents' Bill of Rights for Student Data Privacy and Security, first reading. All of these policies will be included on the next agenda for adoption. Next, old business. We have the Tri-Valley Little League discussion and possible action. Circulated to the board earlier was an amended agreement between Tri-Valley Central School District and the town of Neversink for the one-time payment of $5,000 to be used for certain improvements on or around baseball field locations on town park property, which is utilized by district school-aged children and students for purposes of interscholastic sport practices and competitions, as well as recreational purposes. So I need a motion and a second to move forward with the $5,000 payment to the town of Neversink. Motion Pat, second Keith. Any discussion? Please proceed to vote. Oh, we have to raise our hands? Oh, all right, gotta do it the old-fashioned way, guys. Please raise your hand. Yes? We have yes, Keith, Randy, Aaron, Carrie, Pat, Brent, and Danielle. Any no's? We have Rose Woods is a no. So that moves forward, 7-1. I'm gonna go ahead and sign this agreement and hand it over to Dr. Silver to present to the town of Neversink supervisor. All right. Next, we reach public comment session for items that are not on tonight's agenda. We have one speaker signed in, Justine Scully, and this is in regards to follow-up.
Yeah, okay. So, first, I just wanted to follow up on the clinic that you were mentioning, last board meeting about this. There was supposed to be a, survey sent out, and I haven't seen it. So
I missed that, I'm sorry, Justine.
So you guys mentioned last board meeting that there was supposed to be a survey sent out
Mhm.
for the possibility of a vaccination clinic on site at the school. So I just was wondering if the survey is expected to come out, because I haven't seen it.
I'll have to follow up. I thought it had gone out.
Okay.
We were doing it digitally, so.
All right, so I've been online on the website.
Yep, let me check.
I haven't seen that. Okay. That was the first thing. The second thing is, I know in our previous meetings, you had mentioned that there were some matters that it brought to light that you would think about. So one of them was more of a town hall style meeting between the board and the community. And I was just wondering how that was progressing, if you guys were talking about it, if it was in, discussion, because Dr. Silver said that it wasn't your decision.
Right, so we will be moving forward with a town board or a town-type meeting when we're moving forward with the superintendent search. That will be in January, and those dates are going to be circulated probably after the holiday. It's going to be a pretty quick turnaround because we are using Dr. Dufour from BOCES to assist us with our superintendent search. So based upon schedules of the board and Dr. Dufour, those dates will go out. It's probably not going to be an all call. I would think that it would be circulated on the website or through local social media.
Okay, so, but that's just specifically for the superintendent search?
Correct.
Okay, so I meant more for the general town board style meeting, a few times a year possibly, twice a year, whatever. So that is just kind of one of the suggestions and questions. Again, I was told that that was a board decision, so.
That's something we're going to have to look into further. I mean, we're limited if we have a meeting with all of us. It's a board meeting. You're looking more of a banter type
dialogue.
meeting, dialogue.
Yep, a
Yeah.
dialogue between the community and the board,
Mhm.
absolutely. Yeah, kind of like an old fashioned style, like you're raising your hands tonight, that kind of.
We can discuss it amongst the board and see what the availability would be for it. I'm not opposed to having a question and answer, but I think the situation
like
is
to
going to
send
be
another
that there's going to be situations or questions posed to us that we're not going to be able to answer. That is my only concern. I'm not opposed to having a town hall style meeting.
Well, I'm sure there are ways to make it work that would make that situation.
Okay. We can talk amongst ourselves and see what our schedules are to schedule something like that moving forward. Anybody opposed to having a town hall type meeting? We'll just have to check availability.
Having a forum is, as long as we're not taking board action.
Correct.
It's just a conversation. I think any number of board members could be there. It could be all of us, it could be some of us, whomever can attend. But I don't think there's a problem with it being like.
Right,
if
without
all
the,
of us were there.
right, without the expectation of business being conducted at that particular
That's right.
meeting. That's
And
the,
so
that's,
it's more of a way that involves all of you, or as many as possible, so that the community is engaged and they just get,
Okay.
on a bigger scale. That's a good idea.
we can figure something out.
There's no reason why we couldn't do it.
Right. It's just a scheduling issue we would have to just work out. So with the, moving forward with the groups that we plan on facilitating in January, it's going to be a very busy time for us for January, February with the superintendent search. So that's my only concern. So that's why I have to tap into everybody's schedule to make sure that we can potentially make this happen for, I would think it would have to be January. There's no way, I don't think it would happen in the month of December. I don't think so, yeah.
I would think if you have specific concerns and you want to reach out,
Individually.
you can individually, as a group, I see where you're going, and I think we can do it. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're approachable. I mean, yeah, so,
Not in a way.
no, individually, we're here for our community, so if you have a concern, feel free to contact any of us.
But I'm not talking about that.
Okay.
I'm talking about a bigger picture and a town board style meeting and having that open to the community, to other families. And I don't know how else to say that. I think that the town board style meeting would start itself. So that's open for discussion.
I think we have discussed it, and we'll come up with a date in January that it works for, right, that works for us, so.
very
And like I said, the superintendent search is also going to have a very similar format. So there is going to be a lot going on between the month of January and February, where you'll have ample time, in addition to the town hall that you're looking for, to have conversations. So, yeah, moving forward, that's our anticipation, that's our plan, moving forward.
Okay, very good.
I do have a question for you.
Sure.
With what you're looking for,
Yeah.
you're talking about people looking to come to speak to us, approach us. We do have the board meeting and opportunities for people to address them. What are you looking for that somebody could bring something to us now? What are you looking for?
So I personally feel that there are many people in the community that would engage better than coming to a board meeting like tonight. There seems to be many restrictions. So, in order to convey how people feel, their expectations on a more personal level, okay? And not necessarily, maybe they do want to talk to you about their personal situation. Kind of like a meet and greet, it's just, I think that it would be better to reach a bigger group than right now. That's all. I think it works. I think it's always worked. And I think we're ever changing, and these times are definitely getting more difficult. There's a lot going on in the world. And I think that it's important for all of us to be open and communicate. That's all. I just think that the community needs to know that you are there for them and that you are there for each other, supporting each other.
Yeah, understood.
Thank you.
Okay?
And like I said, Justine, I don't think it would be, it might be an all call that says, hey, we have these dates that we're looking to have the superintendent search and have these community forums. So just be on the lookout on the website, after the new year when we know what's going on a little more. We don't have specific dates yet, but the month of January and February is going to be very, very busy with our stakeholder groups. So just
understand.
keep your eyes open for those dates. All right, thank you. All right, announcements, reminders, and upcoming events. Mr. Pulley.
Okay, tomorrow we have our first quarter 7th and 8th grade awards assembly at 10:13. You're more than welcome to come and join. We are still planning for a holiday concert on the 15th of December, and we'll gauge that as we get closer to it based on COVID at that point. On the 5th of December, Sunday night, at the community tree lighting, our band and our cheerleaders will be participating. Our cheerleaders will help to be part of the parade and bringing Santa into the town square. The last thing, and it's really Kevin Giroux's great news to share, but he can't because today he's with 3 of our students who are all area state for chorus.
Oh, excellent.
So, but I'm pleased to announce, and we can have Kevin come and share more, but for the first time ever that we have 3 students who have been selected to the National Honor Ensemble.
Wow. Wow,
Okay.
that's phenomenal.
And that's Samantha Morgan, Davy Allison, and Robert Denman.
Robert,
So-
congratulations.
And lastly, just a comment on remote learning. When the message went out from Dr. Silver on, I believe, what was it, Tuesday evening? Wednesday, you probably wouldn't be surprised, but many students were pleading not to go back to remote and made that very clear to the teachers. So anything we can do to keep the doors open, I certainly support and applaud. Thank you.
Danielle and I are going to be quiet tonight, but Devin wants to speak.
Evening, everyone. So I have 2 things. First, so tomorrow we will award our Bear Awards at the elementary school, and we hope to have our Bear mascot joining us to help motivate our students. And then our Winter Spirit Week is also coming up, so stay tuned and watch out for our flyers with more information.
All right, great. Are there any other announcements? We're good, Dave? That's it? All right. All right, next, new business. So we have the adoption of the proposed budget calendar that Mr. Whitaker presented to us 2 weeks ago. Do you have anything to add, Bob, or is it just the approval of the calendar?
Guidelines.
All right, so I need a motion and a second. Motion Aaron, second Keith. Any discussion? We have to do hands again, Norma? Okay, please raise your right hand. Yes? That is unanimous. Next, we have our memorandum of agreement with the Tri-Valley Central School District and TVTA. Be it resolved, the board approves the memorandum of agreement between Tri-Valley Central School District and the Tri-Valley Teachers Association that will be in effect December 2nd and December 3rd. I need a motion and a second.
May I add to that?
Oh, absolutely.
Amend the motion, please?
Sure.
What I'd like to add is this MOA may be extended at the superintendent's discretion without further Board of Education action.
So in case we run into a similar situation, you have the ability to
Yeah,
put this
April
in
and I
motion
can
with
can
April.
make a decision and just,
Okay. All right, that's fine. Any motion and a second?
Motion.
Motion Pat, second Aaron. Any discussion? Can we do this electronically, or do you need a vote by hand? All right, please proceed to vote. That is unanimous. Again, thank you very much to our staff and our teachers for working together to keep us open. The kids do want to be here. We hear it at home all the time. So we're grateful for every day that we can stay without a day virtual. So thank you very much. So to further discuss the possibility of staying open without the need to go remote, we are going to increase our substitute teacher rate effective today, 12/2/21. Norma, I believe Dr. Silver gave you the language for this?
yeah, I have a resolution I can read to you.
Okay, so the resolution?
Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education adopts the following per diem rates for substitute teachers effective immediately. Non-certified subs, $100 per day. Certified subs with bachelor's degrees, $115 a day. Certified teachers with a master's degree, $125 a day. And any retiree teachers that come back, $135 a day.
Also want to note that we are eliminating the 0 to 39 days prior to the $100 per day figure, so it is $100 a day beginning immediately. You do not need to wait after the 40th day. So I need a motion and a second. Motion Aaron, second Randy. Any discussion? Please proceed to vote yes by raising your right hand. That is unanimous, Norma. We are doing our best to do what is necessary to keep our doors open. There is conversation amongst our community this week that we're looking to close for 10 days. That is not what we want to do. We are trying to eliminate that at all costs. Our children want to be here. They want to have as normal life as they possibly can and their activities to continue. So hopefully this will eliminate any barriers to anybody applying for substitute teachers positions. So if you know anybody, this is key in addition to our staff to keeping us open on a daily basis. So again, if you know anybody that's interested, Bob Whitaker would happily take any applications for substitute teachers. With that, I do not believe there are any other items of business, so I need a motion and a second to adjourn. Motion Aaron, second Randy. I'm sure there's no discussion. It is 8:03 p.m. Have a very happy evening. Safe travels home.